England have dominated the opening day of this Test match, the opening day of the series here at Headingley. They're in such a strong position after the first day, bowling Pakistan out for 171 and then replying with 112 for 2 off only 25 overs by the close. They've scored at 4.5 runs per over. Robinson with 5 for 51 started it all off with a wicket from the first ball of the series, and Josh Tongue 5 for 46. He was on a hat-trick at one stage, and then there was a break for tea and he came back and bowled the hat-trick ball 20 minutes or so later. Pakistan losing their last 5 wickets for 21 runs in 22 balls. Alistair Cook is here, Michael Vaughan is here, Jonathan Agnew is here. Well, if England are having a reset, Michael, that was a perfect day for them, really.
Yeah, it was. You know, I think Joe Root this morning would have arrived just a little bit nervous, but winning the toss, making a good call in terms of bowling first here at Headingley. I think it was quite an easy decision to make because of the moisture overnight, because of the record of recent times here at Leeds. The last 7 games have been won by the team chasing. England had a great chase against India a year or so ago, but then they got into the work, the first ball, a wicket, so everything's going great. But there was one partnership, Abdullah Shafiq and Imran al-Haq played nicely, got them to 97 for 2, and from there on in, I have to say, that big drive that Imran played to Josh Tongue, which was a good catch by Harry Brook, I thought Pakistan's batting was poor, it was average at best. And England just kind of capitalised on that. I thought Robinson was the pick by a country mile. I know Josh Tongue, he hoovered up. That's what we call it, don't we? When the bowler hoovers up the tail, that's what he did. So full credit for that. But I thought Ollie Robinson was magnificent throughout the day. And I'll give a special mention, actually, to Jamie Smith stood up. I thought he put on a bit of a masterclass. We praised Alex Carey throughout the winter. We praised Blundell for New Zealand. Jamie Smith was excellent, stood up. So all the work that we've seen him in the morning do with Sarah Taylor, it's paying off. And 80 miles an hour seam bowling, it works at test level if it's accurate.
I know you really like Robinson, I guess, as a pace bowler.
I just think he's one of the most natural bowlers I've ever seen. It just makes it look so incredibly easy. From the start of his run to the moment that he's let the ball go, it's just a very easy, metronomic rhythm that he has in his run-up. And he lets go of the ball really high and with a beautiful wrist. I just think it's a fabulous bowler, and yes, he doesn't break 80 miles per hour very often, but it doesn't have to. His accuracy is outstanding. He's developed that wobble seam ball brilliantly. I mean, he did it when he first came into the side, didn't he? I mean, the only thing about Ollie Robinson is his fitness, and he just sort of gets these injuries, doesn't he? But he just bowled immaculately today. You know, he's hardly played for weeks. He's played a few one-day games, but you wouldn't have guessed that today.
So 5 wickets for Ollie Robinson, 5 wickets for Josh Tongue, and Josh Tongue joins us now. Hello to you, Josh. I hope you can hear us.
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, well, that's a good start. Well bowled. Assess that first day.
Yeah, it was obviously a great day. Obviously winning the toss this morning and putting them into bat. And I thought, obviously, getting a wicket that first ball, I thought sort of set the tone from Robbo. And I thought we were fairly ruthless as a bowling unit and to bowl them out.
Was it a good pitch to bowl on?
Yeah, it was quite nice to bowl on. It was obviously a bit in the surface, making sure you're brave with your lengths, trying more get driven rather than sort of get cut or pulled. I feel like you get your rewards if you're sort of tugging at the stump as much as you can, and that's sort of how I got my wickets.
You're known as the kind of like the Hoover, aren't you? Hoovering up the wickets of the lower order. How did you see that role today?
Yeah, because we've had a couple of lads said that to me in the changing room at tea. It actually started here at Headingley, and Stokesy was doing the rabbit pie stuff. But I like sort of getting the wickets towards the back end and put the team in a good position.
Who gets the match ball?
Well, Robbo had it to start with, and then he was like, "We're going to split it in half." So I think the groundsman's actually kindly split the ball in half. So that I'm sure we'll be able to get that mounted somewhere at home.
The groundsman has split the ball in half.
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously, that's the first time I've seen that happen. I'm sure I'll be putting that up somewhere.
What's it been like making the transition from playing in the 100? You played in the 100 final on Sunday, suddenly back into Test cricket.
Yeah, it was a quick turnaround for me and Gus. But we did a lot of work behind the scenes at Old Trafford, speaking to Troy Cooley quite a bit. making sure our bowling loads were getting up to sort of what you need in Test match cricket. And yeah, it's obviously gone well today, and not bowling many overs, to be fair. I think I only bowled 9 overs at the end. So no, we made sure we put in the hard work behind the scenes, and yeah, it's just good to put the team in a good position today.
Josh, I've got a question for you. It's Jonathan Agnew here. I mean, people laugh about you hoovering up the tail, but there's a real skill to it, isn't there? And it's a skill that actually England haven't been very good at over the years. So how do you clean up the tail as you do?
I think just keep the stumps in play as much as I can, really. Obviously, I go about my stuff that sort of fuller length, which helps with the batters who are at the top of the order as well. So I think if I just try and keep it as simple as I can, and then the wickets hopefully come.
We mentioned the transition from 100 into Test match cricket. What about also the transition from a different regime into new regime? What's that been like over the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's been class to be back around the lads. I came up on Monday late, so I missed that training session, and to have a good training session on the Tuesday, I had a little bowl. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. It's very chilled, and the lads were excited to get out there today under Rooty.
Yeah, what's that like playing under him? How does it differ? I mean, not much, not a great sample size because you haven't had too much time underneath him, so to speak. You played that match at the Oval and this game here. What's it like? What's the difference?
There's not much difference. Stokes, he was very chilled and back to 100%, and Rooty's the same as well. He's sort of asking me what I wanted to do in terms of the field placements and stuff, and he'll back me 100%. So yeah, I think that's an unbelievable trait as a captain, and it makes you very chilled at the end of your mark before you're going to release that ball.
One final point. I mean, you were on a hat trick. Would you have liked to have kept on bowling? You had the break for tea. What was that like?
Yeah, I didn't like the break, to be fair. I think because I was sort of on a roll, I think I wouldn't have minded to just have a couple more balls before the tea break. But no, we were happy that we got the last few wickets.
Josh Tongue, thank you very much indeed for joining us. 9.1 overs, 5 for 46 today. So picking up wickets after tea and before tea as well, as Pakistan were bowled out for 171. Well, I've never heard about that, but splitting the ball in half before.
I was going to say, it is a serious point of bowling at the tail, though. I mean, these two beside me will know. I mean, through the years, there has been that incredibly frustrating period, quite often with watching England play, and that there have been this annoying 9, 10 wicket stands and just a sort of a loss of focus from the bowler and how to bowl at the tail enders. So that we do kind of pull the legs of those who hoover up, don't you? But it's a really important job.
But it's a bit different because actually there are, over the last 15 years or so, batters have improved down the order. However, I'm looking at this batting lineup for Pakistan, and
it feels a bit 6 out, all out, doesn't it?
8, 9, 10, 11. You wouldn't mind it. And to be fair, he makes a really good point. He bowls at close to 90 mile an hour, and he brings the stumps into play. And if you've got people who aren't that good, you're bringing every dismissal into play. So he gets rewarded for doing the simple things well. There has been times where, and I was very guilty of it as well, and it is awkward, and you've got a good player at one end and the tail at the other, because of the power that the players do possess now, and the ability to clear the rope has changed that. It used to be my nightmare when you had everyone on the boundary. You knew you shouldn't really do it. We don't want to do it, but you end up having to do it because of the power. But when you've got Tongue who creates a funny angle and brings everything into play, I think if you just, as you say, if you keep on bringing the stumps into play, you should pick up those wickets slightly cheaper.
I mean, to be fair to him, he did get Imam ul Haq, who's one of the openers, and he got Salman Ali Agha as well, who came in at number 6, and Mohammed Rizwan, who's not a bad player. He averages nearly 40 in Test cricket. He got him as well. So it wasn't all rabbit pie today.
No, I think the best compliment I can give Josh Tongue, I don't think he was anywhere near his best today. I thought he was a bit wayward to start, then suddenly he's one of those bowlers, I think, once he clicks, he just gets quick wickets because he's that awkward action. He bowls a really good pace. That Yorker's a threatening bowler, and as a right-hander, when you're facing someone wide of the crease, you've got to play at pretty much everything. So he drags you into playing deliveries, and he's just got enough movement out of the deck today to challenge the batters. Look, the bowling attack is a very threatening bowling attack. You look at Jofra Archer, didn't quite have a great day today, but wonderful bowler. Josh Tongue, Gus Atkinson, we know what Gus has done in the past. To put that all together now, you need a bit of glue. And I think Ollie Robinson will become that glue. And I wonder, in English conditions, having seen Ollie Robinson bowl today, will there be scope for someone like a Sam Cook to be at the other end as well? So you've got two quick bowlers, if you like, in Gus Axton, Jofra Archer, Josh Tong, two of the three. And then you have a Sam Cook and you have an Ollie Robinson, because that keeper stood-up tactic is a real threat. And if you can do it from either end, or you can use Ollie Robinson for 4 or 5, then you bring Sam Cook on to replace him. I'd love to see throughout this series, whether it's next week, whether it's the last test at Edgbaston, I'd love to see an England attack that's not all about airspeed. You know, I think we've said earlier, Andy, that Ollie Robinson's test average when he bowls under 80 miles an hour is 19. So actually, it is about skill, it is about accuracy. It allows the captain to set field. When they did get that partnership going, and Iman and Abdullah was starting to play well, what did Joe Root do? He had to turn to Ollie Robinson to set a ring field to just bowl a few dots. And as a captain, you need bowlers that can just give you some control. And with control, generally brings you a wicket or two. And yeah, throughout this series, I would like to see 280-odd miles an hour bowlers in the same attack.
It's interesting he brought Sam Cook back into the squad, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Cookie's seen a lot more than I have, but I've seen Sam Cook in county cricket, and he's had that one time of us seeing him in Test match cricket at Trent Bridge against Zimbabwe. It was a road. And I think there was only, if we look back to that, there was only really Ben Stokes that bowled anything like for England. The rest of them struggled. And then because Sam was on his debut, I think he had a catch dropped in his first over. Now, because he was on his debut, people went away saying, oh, is that all he's got? Well, the other bowlers actually look very similar, but because they'd played a little bit more, they get a bit more time. But I've seen enough of Sam Cook in county cricket that if he was bowling out there today on that pitch with the ball moving, he could have done a similar job to Ollie Robinson.
1,000%. He didn't bowl his best. A few elements of it, probably trying so hard because this is his opportunity to waited so long for. And also the way that Ben Stokes did captain those kind of bowlers. He was bowling with 3 slips, 2 gullies. And actually at Essex, what does he do the majority of the time after his initial 3 or 4 overs? It's ring fields, plug him in, and bang away. And there's an element of him chasing it, attacking field, and him not seeing. We did not see anywhere like the Sam Cook that I saw and I played with him playing in that game, no matter how flat the wicket is. On flat wickets, he does still, at his best, he just bowls the ball time and time again. He has a slight disadvantage to Ollie Robinson, that Ollie is taller. So just having that taller, you do create a little bit more. But absolutely, it's been so successful in England the last couple of years.
Well, Cookie, look at if the analysts aren't doing their work correctly on all the information that they get now. Well, look at the bowlers that have had all the success this year. Matt Henry got, 10 wickets, 11 wickets at the Oval. What did he bowl? 81, 82 miles an hour. Ollie Robinson today. We go to Trent Bridge. Nathan Smith, how quick did he bowl? 80 miles an hour. Zach Volks, when he came into the how quick did he bowl? 81 miles an hour. So I think over the last 2 or 3 years, this England regime has got completely obsessed with airspeed. And I think you look at our greatest pair, Broad and Anderson, how quick did they bowl? 80 to 82 miles an hour. So we have to focus on the skill element, the accuracy, because it gives control, and if there's any ounce of movement out there, and even this is quite a dry pitch, and I just think these bowlers are so skillful these days. The way that they put their fingers across the ball, the way they seem to be able to get this ball wobble seaming. I know as a batter, and I'm sure Cookie will say the same, I'd hate to face someone bowling 80 to 81 miles an hour with a hint of seam movement either way. I'd rather face someone bowling 90 trying to hit you on the head. You know, that I think most players around the world who are at a standard like to glance and like to flick. You know, if you've got that ball coming down at 80, you've got to do all the work as a batter. You know, it's so much harder to face. I'm not saying you want 4 of them, but when you've got so many bowlers to choose from, I'd love to see in this series 2 and 2. 2 80 odds and 2 89, 90 miles an hour bowlers.
The game has changed in the last 20 years. Now, whether that's down to the pitches, which I think it has, or the wobble seam influence. When I started, it was people who played Test cricket the best, people like Therese, people who commanded the ball from upper thigh to chest high. If you that was the difference. You could play that because the pitch didn't nip as much, and so you had to have that extra bit of pace. Well, now it's gone straight back. It's gone back to who commands the top of off stump better. As a batter, can you command that playing on the front foot? Joe Root today played so many balls commanding the off stump. Where 20 years ago, it was way more about cut and pulling. Graham Thorpe, he was obsessed when he played. You had to be able to play cut and pull to play Test cricket. Totally changed now. Now, whether that is the wickets or the wobble seam.
DRS as well?
Or DRS.
With the keeper standing up and all that.
But it's the wobble seam, isn't it? Like, it's made bowling easier. there is less skill.
You've got to give him a bit of credit, Sir Alistair.
Well, I mean, you tell
Easy, is it,
me.
John?
Bring out Derek Shackleton, I say. He was doing this 70 years ago.
If the bowler's still at the top of the mark and said, this is going to nip away, and then he said, this one's nipping back in, and he got it right every single time, I'm giving the bowler skill credit. What they are very good at are the wobble seam bowlers.
You think they're lucky, Sir Alistair?
No, they hit length, and they don't know which way it's going. And if they constantly hit length, they're going to get the odd one which doesn't nip, the odd one nips away, and it's very hard to line as a bat.
Abbas's setup of Duckett was brilliant.
That
That
was
was swing. That was swing away, and then one that just skidded
but it
straight
was wobble away, and then.
Oh, he swung it. There were definite outswingers.
I think slightly differently. I think he was wobbling away with the fact that it just angled that way, and then the ball. I was on air and I did look, and the ball which got him out. You're absolutely right. It was a different seam position,
Yes.
not to wobble away, to carry on going, and it was very skillful. So I'm giving that one credit. I'm saying the other ones are just skillful length bowling and allowing the conditions to do the work.
The TMS Podcast from BBC Radio 5 Live.
So what about on flat pitches, this style of bowling we're talking about, the Robinsons, the Cooks, the Mohammed Abbas? What about on flat pitches?
How many absolute roads are there?
I think he probably more overseas necessary than
look, when you go and play with a different ball, you might need a bit more airspeed. But here in the UK and in Australia over the last 4 or 5 years, the ball's done plenty. It's a different Kookaburra ball, so I don't think we have to be obsessed 4 years in advance now to think, we're going to have to arrive in Australia with a load of pace. I think you just need real consistency. Just look at Bangladesh last week, load of basics delivered, they win a test match. Maybe in India you might need a little bit more because those pitches are pretty flat. Obviously you're going to turn to spin anyway in India, but for the majority of the kind of games that England play, there's always a little bit there. So you just need skillful bowlers you need a balance, don't you? You don't want 4 of the same, whether it's pace or 80 miles an hour wobble seam. You need 2 and 2. That's why throughout this series they're going to rest and rotate. You can't play the likes of Tong and Jofra Archer and Gus Saxon, I wouldn't think, in all 3. So next week at Lords, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they suddenly went, come on, Sam Cook, let's have a look at you. I think this is the kind of series that I think we should be looking to try and grow that group of bowlers. It's the perfect series. I'm not complacently saying that Pakistan are a freebie and it's going to be 3-0. Of course, you have to work hard. But if there was ever a team, from what I've seen today, that you could just bring in a bowler, I would say this Pakistan side is a good time to bring someone in.
OK, well, that's England's bowling. Pakistan all out for 171. Pretty disappointing. Last 5 going for 21. England's batting, 112 for 2. They scored at 4.5 runs per over. There was the challenge of Mohammed Abbas. He got Duckett out. We talked about that. Emilio Gay out for 33. Caught by Salman Ali Agha in the slick cord. And what do we make of Emilio Gay coming into this series? Average of 23. Cox in the side. You've got Lawrence back in the side. You've got Bethel in the wings.
Well, I thought you got to, Emilio Gay's had a decent start, and then obviously he's had a struggle at Trent Bridge. He was moved down to number 7 in his last Test match innings, which we don't know how much that would have affected him. I thought he looked very good today. He played some glorious shots. He got himself in some really nice positions. He gets a decent ball. You're going to get the odd decent ball at the top of the order. So his movements are good. He'll be looking at that last hour of watching Joe Root and Jordan Cox, and he'll know deep down, he'll be thinking, oh no, because he's missed a golden opportunity. Because this attack, look, Mohammed Abbas is a good bowler. He can challenge you, but the other 2 seamers looked...
They're a seamer short, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a seamer short. They've got a left-arm spinner. This isn't going to spin, so he's almost nullified already. But I thought Mohammed Ali and Karam looked a pleasure to face. They might improve tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. But I would think Emilio Gay will be sat in that dressing room thinking, oh no, I've missed a big opportunity. And you look at Jordan Cox, the way that he played. I thought he looked calm and composed, and he looks like he's got a lot of time, and he did against New Zealand when he played in that Test match at the Oval, and he walked out at number 3. And I always look at body language, and he's got a bit of presence about him, and he played 1 or 2 strokes through the offside. That reminded me of A.B. de Villiers. He's not that standard at all, but he just has that aura and that kind of that quiet confidence at this level. When you're strolling out at number 3 in your England 3 Lions, you have to believe in yourself, and I think he's got that inner belief that should travel him a long way in the Test match team.
I'm hoping it was just the nerves of playing a big Test match, playing England away for Pakistan is a big series, and those other 2 they didn't bowl well, and it was, they bowled 2 or 3 good balls, but you knew as a batter, if you're facing, you're thinking, I know I'm getting a 4 ball every over, and a batter needs that support. So I'm putting it down to the nerves of a big series, and they'll come back tomorrow, and hopefully, if you're looking as a Pakistan side of it, the rain for a bit in the morning keeps the moisture in the wicket, so it does a bit, and they find some areas, because that, they didn't bowl very well. And you're right, you have little opportunities in Test cricket, and that was from Gay, who moved lovely. I think I was on the TV saying how committed he was to every attacking shot. He was really decisive. He was very clear in how he played. He got some bad balls, and he put them away with real distinction. He just nicked a half decent ball, and when that happens, you are just cursing yourself, because a 30 doesn't save you.
That's a style, isn't it? He's Giorgio Armani of opening batting. He's got some beautiful flourish with his drives. Enjoyed watching him play.
But snuffed out on 33, 48 for 2, and then Root and Cox batting to the close to take it to 112 for 2. We can get some Pakistan reaction now. Atif Nawaz has been speaking with opener Imam Ul Haq, who made 42 today.
Imam, that was felt like a tough day for Pakistan today to start the series off.
Yeah, you can say that. First of all, we thought so that it's a good wicket, but obviously they bowled very well. We have to give credit to the England bowlers as well. They were very decent with their length, and they were just hitting the right spot. And me and Abdullah, we batted. We thought we were batting decently, but once I got out, and then there was no such big partnership. And on the first day, if you're not scoring a big partnership, then you are in trouble. And then obviously with the ball, obviously we have to work hard. But it's I always believe that it's a long day. It's a 5-day game, and things change with the Duke ball very quickly. So we're going to come back harder, and inshallah quick 2 wickets, and the game's going to change.
So if we go back to that, yourself and Abdullah put on a 91-run partnership. It looked like batting got a little bit more comfortable. I mean, it's never really been comfortable today, but it got a little bit more comfortable post-rain break. Is that fair to say?
It's just that I always believe that once the batsman is set, it's a different ball game. And if you see that me and Abdullah was batting very solid, and once I got out, and then it's a different ball game. So it looks very nice and very easy from the outside, but if the batsman is set, it's a different ball game, because the mindset has changed. And then once the wicket has fallen, and it's a different ball game. But yeah, for all the batters as well, it was not like a dream batting track, to be honest. But this is how it is in England. The Duke ball, it always tests you as an opener, and we have to come back as a batting group stronger.
Coming into this series, was there a lot of excitement? Was there sort of a lot of optimism, especially after the way you guys finished in the West Indies and the warm-up match, which you guys won as well?
Look, it was great that we won the second Test match, and we really needed that win as a group. And then we had a very good practice session and practice warm-up game, and we won that as well. Look, the thing is, yes, it was a bad day, but as a batting group, we are confident, and one off day cannot describe our batting. And we're gonna come back. We will have a chat about it, and inshallah we'll come back stronger.
Looking at the way Ollie Robinson and Josh Tongue, yeah, they both bowled, both picked up 5 wicket hauls as well. Do you think maybe looking at your team composition, maybe one seam bowler light?
I guess you can say if and buts once the bad day has gone to the team, but I think that's the decision of the captain and the coach, and whatever the team is, and they've picked the right team. The thing is, we have to back our playing 11, and we have to, it's still 4 days, and I will always believe that when we will play good cricket, and then the results will be changed.
How's Babar's finger?
His running is fine. I guess obviously the warm-up game has done it, and there was awkward. I thought but I think inshallah we will see him in the second Test.
Very well batted today, Imam, and best of luck for the coming days.
Thank you, sir.
Imam Ul Haq speaking to Atif Nawaz. Zandy Zaltzman is here. What caught your eye statistically today, Zaltz?
Well, let's start with the first ball of the match and the series with Ollie Robinson's first wicket. Had Azan Awais LBW for a golden duck, the 12th time in Test history that a bowler has taken a wicket with the first ball of the series. The most recent instance was Rory Burns out to Mitchell Stark for in the first ball of the 2021-22 Ashes. Only the second time an England bowler has ever struck with the first ball of a Test series. Jimmy Anderson got Dean Elgar out in South Africa in the 2019-20 series, and the first time in any Test series in this country that the first ball has taken a wicket. It was the first of Robinson's wickets. He took 4 of Pakistan's top 5 with bowled and one bowled 3 LBW. So 4 unassisted wickets in the top 5. The first England seamer to do that for just under 50 years since John Lever did it in India in December 1976, and only the second time an England seamer has had 4 unassisted top 5 wickets in a test innings in this country. Trevor Bailey against New Zealand in 1949. The other in all 8 bowls and LBWs, the joint most ever in the opening innings of a test match in this country. And we talked about Robinson's speeds. Actually, the updated stats, when Robinson, where we have ball tracking data available, which is all apart from one match that he played in, which was a game in India in which he didn't take a wicket. But when he's bowled under 80 miles an hour, he's taken 38 wickets, average 17.7, and when he's bowled over 80 miles an hour, he's taken 50 wickets at 22.8. Both of those numbers are very good, but it does slightly suggest that his optimum pace is actually a little lower than 80 miles an hour, and his average speed today, just under 79 miles an hour, was the second slowest average speed he's recorded over an innings in his Test career. Josh Tongue, rather quicker, also took 4 wickets. And it was only the 5th time in the last 60 years that 2 England bowlers have taken 5 wickets in the same innings. In fact, the 5th time since 1952 that's happened. The most recent instance was Harmison and Panesar in 2006 at Old Trafford.